Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Expand podcast. I am so excited today to have one of our keynote speakers, Coach Micheal Burt, coming to join us down here in Houston, Texas on June 20th. Coach Burt, if you don't know, is a highly acclaimed motivational speaker, coach, and entrepreneur who has helped thousands of individuals and businesses across the world achieve their true potential. Coach is a master at activating the prey drive. He just had a book that he launched earlier this year called Flip the Switch. I am so excited to have Coach Burt spend some time with us today, and more importantly, join us in about a month or so down here in Houston. But Coach, welcome to the show.
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me, and thanks for putting this event on. I'm very excited about coming to Houston, and I do think the people who come that day just know there's a power and expansion in being in a room, up close, personal, eyeball to eyeball, face to face, in a room with each other, talking about expansion, bringing strategy. So I hope to see everybody there.
Yeah. And talk about, I know, I've got the opportunity because, I'm being coached by you, been coached by you, I contribute a lot of my success over the last, year and a half, going from a brand new real estate agent to $10 million in sales in my first year. With these events, I know I've been to in-person events with you. Why is going to these events important?
There's to open a new neural pathway in the brain, you first have to become aware of something. And it could be, man, I've been beating my head against the wall for years doing something the same way. I get in a room with this person and they open my mind to a new possibility. Okay. They may make you think bigger. They may have a strategy. I've been in rooms where I went to something and they said one thing that helped me, generate $1 million more. It was just like one concept, one idea. So what we're trying to do is open the brain up to a new way of thinking, creativity, courage. Sometimes it's bigger think. You typically take away one big thing that would be valuable for you. And that's why they need to be in a room.
Yeah. No, and I've seen that too. I know there's typically one idea, one tactic, one strategy, or one person, that is in that room for you to connect with. It's been divinely appointed to be there. So that's why I'm excited to have you specifically come down and join us in the room. I mean, you're taking time out of your busy schedule, your business, you're flying in from Nashville to be with us. So, Coach, in your business, I know you've worked with a ton of entrepreneurs, people across, wide ranging industries, real estate, insurance, a whole host of places. Like, why is expansion so important, especially to an entrepreneur? Like the mindset, having, the heart for expansion, like why is expansion important?
I actually think we were hardwired for expansion. I think we are very unhappy creatures when we are not expanding. I think we're either dynamic, we're alive, we're vibrant, we're growing, we're expanding. We are static, stuck, plateaued, bored, in a rut, or we are entropic, which is disintegrating. Those are three states of energy. The minute a plant stops growing, it starts dying. And I think what people need to understand is for your progress is a natural motivator for people. Okay. And so sales is an expansion mindset, a strategic partnership expansion mindset. So like me, I'm trying to build these greatness factories around the country. So I'm looking at cities and where can I expand? It activates the prey drive inside of a person. I get exposed to something and I want to expand. I see something, I want to expand. Maya Angelou said, when we know better, we do better. And so, I think we're happiest when we are expanding. We're most miserable when we're contracting.
Yeah. And so, Coach, I know you've been a coach for a very long time. You've been in the space, that you've been operating in now for a while. What was it for you that kind of got you off onto this like mindset of expansion, constant growth? And what I'm kind of calling an expansion point that you look back in your life, whether it was in business, personal, that you kind of are able to go back to and say, man, that was a real defining moment where there's been incredible expansion that's happened after that moment in time.
18 years old, I went to a coaching clinic as a young basketball coach, and the coach said, if you don't read another book this year, pick up a copy of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I went, picked up the book, expanded my mind. I said, I want to learn these 7. I want to master these 7 habits. 25 years old, wrote my first book. Expansion happened from 25 to 30. 41 years old, spoke at 10X. Expansion, 10,000 people, international audience. Expansive activity. 2012, went to a conference in Mexico around other bigger thinkers. Expanded me. So typically expansion happens because of exposure. I see something and I'm like, whoa, now that is interesting. That prompted me to want to expand. That activated the drive for expansion.
Man, that's so good. I love that. Expansion is exposure. And I think that's the big thing I know I've encountered is, why I'm a huge fan of being in the room for events. I believe in the power of a shared experience, the opportunity to learn, the opportunity to connect, find that. And I love what you've been talking about a lot more recently too, is the strategic partnership. How do you see strategic partnership, whether it's within the world of real estate? I know we're going to have a lot of real estate agents and investors in the room. Why is strategic partnerships and that type of collaborative marketing that you've been talking a lot about, why is that so important to this expansion process to growth for you and your business and, for the entrepreneur, community that we're really talking to?
Many times through strategic partnerships that I do, I observe something that someone else is doing. I just partner with the guys running a, almost $200 million sales company. And I just observed his remarkable boldness. I observed his skill set. So there's 2 reasons to strategically partner. Number 1, they have a skill set that is complementary to yours. Number 2, you don't need more money, you need more people. And through strategic partnership, it opens you up to new audiences. And you need to be known in the world. So why do I come to Texas and do an event? It's to be known by people in Texas. It's to, why do I go to California? It's to be known in people in California. Why do I do social media? It's to become known to people. And I wrote a book on that called Person of Interest. The more known you are, the more opportunity you get, the more leads you get. Money follows attention. So the reason you need a strategic partner is because you need access to new people. You don't need more money. You need people.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the foundational thoughts that I've, been ingrained in my mind in terms of your coaching and your teaching philosophy. It's not about being the resource or having access, but it's, I don't need more people. I don't need more money. I need people because the people have the money. They've got the relationships. They've got the new communities, that you've got access to through them and working with them. So I know that's one of the real exciting things, why I'm grateful for you, because this is our strategic kind of collaborative partnership just within my world. What would you say has been one of the kind of breakthrough, expansion collaborative partnerships or expansion type activities that you've taken part in that's really, catapulted your business forward?
Well, I look at first, it was that strategic partnership with Cardone that got me on stage at 10X. It was through that I met Tim Grover, Milet, Tim Story, who I'm now doing events with. So typically one strategic partnership leads to other strategic partnerships because you meet new people and it brings in new revenue. Okay. Cause it's like going on tour. Why did 2 top groups go on tour? Cause you get to see the best of both people. Right. So I think when you're thinking about these things, it's really, there's learning involved, there's collaboration involved, there's expansion involved, and there's new revenue involved. And that's really ultimately why we do it. If I have a database or access to 400,000 and you have access to people, why wouldn't we combine those and see what we could do together?
Yeah. And when we're getting ready to approach one of those strategic partnerships, what would you say has been the success of partnering with a guy like Cardone or Story or, Grover, a lot of the guys that you work with? How do you come to the table to, lay out that partnership or to work with them?
Well, typically we each bring a skill set to the equation. And what I've found about big time people is they recognize other big time people. What they really recognize is the skill set you bring to the table. we can work out the money piece. All of that's pretty easy. You know, there's a cut to us, a cut to them. There's a percentage for the salespeople, you know, but at the end of the day, we're really combining forces because we admire and respect each other. And they bring something that you don't bring. It's like a new skill set. So you're acquiring a new, what's called a new capability. The new capability actually gives you new courage, gives you new confidence, gives you a new trajectory. Right. And if you're around someone doing a higher volume than you can observe. This is one of the best reasons to be in a room with people. You can actually observe, what are they doing that I'm not doing? What kind of attitude, what kind of knowledge do they have? What kind of skills do they have? What kind of attitude do they have? What kind of habits do they have? See, you can observe. That's a key component here.
Yeah. And I know, and I appreciate that about you, the observation, but I think more than anything, what I've got to experience of you so far, Coach, is the observation into action. Like, what is it for you to take? Because I know, like, the person of interest class, anybody out there, I did that with Coach. That was where I got really dug in with Coach, because just the alignment and the strategy and just the thinking about how to become a person of interest in your market, in your business, in your life was like, it was a game changer for me. That's part of the reason why we're hosting this event. But, you know, I just think the opportunity inside of, you know, that attention and focusing on that, what have you found that's key for you to take that observation into action and implementation? Because you just, like, you get a concept, you get a new thing, and then next thing we know, it's a new offering that you've added.
I think this is a big separator for people. The separator for people is how fast big time people get into action. Big time people don't spend a lot of time thinking about things. They take an idea, they package it up, and they bring it to the marketplace. Right? That's really what big time people do. That is the separator, to be honest with you. Remarkable boldness is the separator. It's like, I got an idea, I'm going to bring it to the market. I'm going to try it. I'm going to test it. I'm going to see if it, and if it don't work, then I've still gained a new capability. Maybe there's a version of the idea that worked. Maybe part of the idea worked. Maybe it didn't work at all. So, but the speed at which they take action on ideas is very, very important for people to understand.
Yeah. And I think, so, and even if we just take a moment, because I know you've worked with and coached some of the top real estate agents in the country and the world. What have you seen, you know, from your experience of working with them? What's the biggest challenge, you know, you've seen specifically in the real estate industry, whether it's investing or working with agents, you know, that is limiting kind of that breakthrough for the expansion opportunity, you know, that's available in the real estate space?
Staying small, stay in one agent, no help, trying to do it by themselves. I mean, I've coached, you know, I've got a husband and wife out of Texas down there close to you, and she did 139 deals, you know, which is ridiculous, but with their team, they did 247 million. So I think the biggest thing I see with agents is they try to stay small. They see themselves as agents versus entrepreneurs. They spend too much time worrying about the market, the rates, the Fed, the government, the president. What they ought to be doing is talking. It should be a full contact sport. Talk to as many people as you can. Follow up with as many people as you can. Skill up as much as you can. Get serious about your skill set. You'll sell more houses, but start seeing yourself as a businessman or a businesswoman versus a real estate agent.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and that's what I've really captured too, because I know you talk a lot of times about, you know, just being in the lane of real estate, not having any other income options, not having anything diversified, you know, and just so that having that mindset has been, like I said, a game changer for me. So what have you seen, you know, working with these top agents to help them diversify or help them go through that expansion or breakthrough, you know, to reach those new levels?
Well, no matter what you do for a living, whether you're a real estate agent or a mortgage originator or an insurance salesman, I think you need some type of either intentionally congruent businesses or diversified. So you look at a guy like me, I can stimulate my economy at any time. I can run a half off special on Memorial Day. I can create new programs. I can lower my price. I can raise my price. When you are in a place that you can't do that, then you need other ways to stimulate. But many times you're not stimulating from the current people you have, your current clients, your past clients, your strategic partners. There's a lot of undercapitalized assets that you're not capitalizing on.
Mhm.
Okay. But having said that, I still think you need a second flow of income or a third flow of income, or you need rental properties, or you need some diversification there.
Yeah.
To just in case people don't buy houses.
Yeah. And going into that just one step farther, because I know you're a real estate investor, and I know you've talked about how real estate is really, along with helping serving people, real estate's a passion of yours. Why do you invest in real estate? What's your thought and philosophy on that? Why do you choose to get that as a part of your mix?
Out of all the investments I've made, I've never gone wrong with real estate.
Mm.
All of my properties have appreciated. All of them. I've sold all of them at typically major profits. I've leveraged my net worth, and most of it is tied up in real estate. I can feel it. I can touch it. Somehow it makes me happy when I see it. I was just down at my house in Florida. I bought for $3.35 million. It's probably worth $5.6 million today. I mean, where else can you put, $800,000 into something that's worth $5.6 million 2 years later? I mean, it's crazy. So that gives me access to capital, to refinance, lines of credit. It allows me to take that money and build more wealth with it. And I've got money tied up in the market I can't touch. It's tied up in REITs that are losing value. I can't get access to it. It's miserable. So, after putting several $100,000 in the market, I just told my financial advisor, I'm never doing that again. Never. The rest of my life, I'm never putting $1 in the market. Can't control it. Can't get access to it. Can't touch it. Get penalized when I use it. So I'm like, I'm out, man. What I need to do is buy real estate. And so I like passion projects where I take money from my coaching business to profits and buy real estate properties where I do retreats. I can not only cash flow the properties or they appreciate in value if I'm not renting them, but I can use them for the coaching business, right? The Greatness Factory is a real estate play. It's really a commercial real estate play that's really cool place to work, learn, grow, connect, activate. It's a space that'll be activated a lot. Space where millions of dollars of business will have. There'll most likely be one in Houston, Texas at some point. So my point is that's a good way to use money. Buy something that appreciates in value, that can cash flow, and you can use it for other reasons.
Yeah, that's so good. And I think too, like even the agents that I work with and even agents that I've seen that have been transactionally in real estate for a long time, I'm like, man, I just feel like there's a giant missed opportunity. How can you be in the business of real estate and not create, the foundational wealth that's been laid out forever? Just like you said, real estate is the, place to go. So I know being that agent, being active in the business, but also investing in the business has been like, I mean, how do you not do both?
Yeah. So for me, it's my favorite investment. And to be honest with you, I like inspired real estate. Like it's inspirational. The aesthetics of it, the dimensions of it. It's just cool, man. It's just, and so that's my primary place I like to put income.
That's awesome. Hey, and I know as we kind of wrap up, I want to, what we're talking about, it's expand business, your mindset, and your heart. I think what gets the least amount of action or activity or at least conversation, we can talk a lot about mindset, tactics, strategies, but for you, like the heart, when we dial everything down, what is it for you? I know you talk about the pray drive, which I believe is a heart-centered, approach. Like, what is it to help people tap into their prey drive, to really tap into the heart, get into this feeling of expansion when the energy and excitement of motivation fades and dissipates, the ability to get back up to activate the prey drive? Like, what have you found is like a couple of the keys for activating that prey drive, really expanding the heart?
Having something you want. What motivates people is they see something they want. And then there's a long cycle to go get it typically. So knowing your because goals, which are big reasons you take action when you don't feel like it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I do is teach people how to move from A to B. A is their current position. B is their desired outcome, and how to tap in and find their because goals. You'd be shocked you would be shocked at when you help a person find their talents, package those talents. how that would change their life. So these are all kinds of things we're going to tackle at your Expand event. So if you haven't got tickets, you need to get tickets. It's going to sell out. It's going to be a great room. We're going to bring the energy. I'm going to bring my A game. I love Houston, Texas. It's going to be a great day. So thank you for inviting me, man. I look forward to coming in there and delivering the goods for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're batting cleanup. You're going to bring us home, Coach. I'm so grateful, thankful for you, for what you've done in my life, what you're doing in our community, what you're doing for the, greater world in terms of helping moving people forward. But yeah, if you have not met Coach, seen him yet in person, it's one thing to see him online, social media, YouTube, whatever, but it is a different vibe and energy when you get to see Coach in the room, shake hands, hear him speak, feel the energy that he brings. And Coach, I'm so excited you're going to be down here June 20th. If you need tickets, go to expandhouston.com. And Coach, anything else you'd like to share as we wrap?
No, man. Expansion is an activity everybody should be involved in. You were hardwired for expansion. So if you're stuck, static, bored, in a rut, hit a ceiling, you need to be in the room with us. And that's the end of it. All right. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I owe you.
Love it. Thanks, Coach.